Hello everyone, we're here outside the Treasury. It's budget day, Chancellor's last budget before the general election. I'm James Lowman, Chief Executive of ACS. I'm here with Edward Woodall, Head of Public Affairs and Policy at ACS, to talk about what it all means for local shops. So Ed, what do you make of the budget?
Well, really important pre-election budget, but actually we've seen some big announcements beforehand. So we've seen the national minimum wage already being announced, and also a review into business rates.
So on minimum wage, we heard both George Osborne and Ed Miliband talk about minimum wage. What's your assessment of where we are with that now?
Well, the fact that politicians are talking about it is slightly worrying. We don't want this to become a political football that gets kicked back and forth between the parties who can commit to the highest rate. Actually, we think the Low Pay Commission are people that are best placed to deal with the national minimum wage and set the future rates.
And in terms of business rates, you said, so a review was announced this week. What's the process for that review?
Well, they will be reporting back on the review in April 2016 of the budget. We have until June this year to respond. But there's some key things in there about incentivising growth and about looking at how we can incorporate more support, more small shops within that.
Okay. Big thing I've seen in the budget every time is duty rates. What was announced on duty rates today?
Some really positive news on duty rates. So we've seen a cut for beer, for cider and for spirits, and a freeze in wine duty. So some really positive news for local shops. Obviously represents 12% of their sales. So
on the other side, you've got tobacco duty going up, as sport does. Now, to me, this is all about illicit trade. So where we've got on alcohol, we've got some positive things happening. We've got the duty rates being kept down. We've got the alcohol wholesalers registration scheme coming in later this year. We've got HMRC finally doing something meaningful, I think, around alcohol duty fraud. I'm optimistic about tackling alcohol duty fraud. There are some warm words in the budget report itself about tobacco illicit trade. I'm sceptical about that. I'm not sure about you, but I'm sceptical until I see something happen on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a huge issue. It's £1.3 billion worth of revenue lost to tobacco, non-paid duty on tobacco. So a really big issue for the Treasury. We have to see what that actually means in policy terms and what money the government commit to actually tackle duty.
Finally, some things around employment law. We've mentioned minimum wage, some other things around employment law.
Yeah, so there was again a reaffirming of the national insurance contributions being reduced for under 21s and for apprentices as well. But also positive for lots of staff in the convenience sector is the personal allowance going up. So that means lots of members of the convenience staff will see themselves lifted out of paying more tax.
I've been looking at this, and about a third of convenience store staff work more than 30 hours a week. So for those people, they're likely to be affected by that threshold change, so they may well benefit from that. And just finally, obviously, it's a very political budget, they always are, but before election particularly so. What's really the politics of this?
Well, pre-election budgets are actually a lot more reserved than you often expect, and the Chancellor hasn't stepped away and done anything too risky here. He's tried to show himself as the guardian of the economy. I think he's played it safe today.
Yeah, I mean, my sense on it is that the polls won't shift much after today, I don't think. I don't think this is really a big moment in the election campaign. Maybe that suggests the Conservatives think they can do enough, but they've already got a strategy which will win them a majority. Let's see.